Good morning. Let's see what we have today. Looking a little slow in small cap again. We have one ENLV looking interesting. This one is free to borrow. Therapeutic company. We're seeing a lot of these lately. So about 24 million float on this one. We'll see what it does. Let's take a look at the news. All right, announced a 6-month positive efficacy data from phase 2A stage randomized trial. 6-month follow-up has been completed for all patients. So what's interesting is maybe how many people were part of this trial. Which is going to be buried in here somewhere. If at all. But that's something to look at. Still, it looks like early stages on this PMI data. Global Flash US PMI for November releases at 9:45 a.m. Eastern. 9:45. We'll keep an eye out for that. That's going to shake things up, I bet. All right, let's look at the other small caps really quick. Not too much. We have IVP, sub-dollar. Can't really touch this one. Can't really touch it, but you know what? This pattern is kind of nice. Obviously, this chart is wrecked, but recently is what matters. We've had a split, reverse split, so the stock needs to stay above $1 if it wants to remain listed. So they have a timeline on that. A lot of resistance here. $1.30. Big. Looks like accumulation over here. So when you see this kind of daily chart with light volume and then massive accumulation down there at the lows, that is a sign that potentially it's going to base and break out, and it needs to hold $1 or it will get delisted. So they got to get it back over $1 eventually. They can kick the can quite a bit though. This is an interesting looking base on a lot of volume. So this is potentially, it's a small cap swing long type setup. And then looking to sell it into the push towards the 60s, 80s, $1, whatever it gets to. It's trading some pretty decent volume for this kind of a stock. Only 300 million, which is not a ton of dollars really, but for this stock, it's nice. So it's something I'm interested in watching. And if the market really heats back up, then stuff like this is going to run really nicely. So we'll throw that on the watch. All right, what else? Gels just getting started. Hopefully this one pops. Another biotech. Preclinical trial results. Let's see here. Lower float on this one. Let's take a look at the chart. It does exactly what we like. So hopefully this one pops some more. Not a lot of time left this morning, but there is some time. Ideally, this gets back up to $2. That'd be about right for me. See if we can do it. Oscar floats too high. DFLI, interesting but nothing yet. That's pretty much it for small caps. A lot of potential almost trades. ATON almost did it. Already back down though, unfortunately. So things will heat back up eventually. We're going through a slow period at the moment. And we do like some of these bigger cap stocks for some day trades. We have Marriott breaking out. Massive breakout. Okay, this is breaking out of a multi-month high. And then we have, I believe that's the all-time high, which we're approaching on Marriott. So, going to be trying to trade this one. We'll see if it can give us a nice second green day or not. I like the look of this chart. It's a nice flag, nice breakout pullback to that high right there, and then it held, pushing new highs again. So it's doing something nice. And it's really threatening to go back up to this all-time high. Ideally, it just pokes over that, and then that'd be good enough for me. Of course, the risk is if you hold on to this, that it does this kind of maneuver, just push over the high and then come back down, and that was pretty nasty pullback right there. But we don't need much. BBIO, another one. All-time high right up there. Pretty close to it. It's been on a really nice push. Again, flagging at the highs. 1029 high. Going to be tested today. Got our line on there. So if we break that, we're hoping for a second green day type move. SGBX, big runner from last week, multi-day run. See, this is exactly what I was talking about with the base building up into a breakout. That's what this one did. Beautifully. So you get these big days over here. Look at that. Massive volume day. Well, not massive, but relatively large. And then into the breakout move. Pretty impressive action. We're going to be seeing more of this as the market heats back up. And this is what we're after. So, really nice action on this. Both long and short. Huge breakout. Look at that breakout potential. Boom, breakout pullback into the day 2 clear out. And now we're back down here in the low to high 3s. This can bounce. So, but, you know, could also have a third day down type of move. Friday was flat, so a lot of times you see a nice red day. Easier to see on the daily chart. Nice red day. Sideways day, red day. Just like this, but flipped over on the long side. Nice green day, sideways day, green day. Big breakout, huge. So SGBX is actually on watch for today. All right. Just a simple trend break would be nice on the short side. So crack that trend, maybe give a pullback to low 3s. Possible, you know, maybe 20% on it, 15, 20%. If it cracks the 3 level, we could see 20, 25% today. Yeah, that's a big watch. That's probably the main ones. Pretty slow last week again. And we have seen QURE. See, this was a big deal when this one started running. And this kind of died with the momentum of the market in November. So when this stuff happens, you know, across the board, we're not looking strong because we get our mid caps like this just breaking down, and I forget why this happened, but probably some news. But that's what we see, and the market slows. We see more moves like this, which started out really strong, but then comes right back down. Really unfortunate for the longs there. So let's see what that news was. Just so happens to be when the market slowed down. It's when that bad news came out. Let's see here. Received feedback from US FDA. Believes that the FDA no longer agrees that data from the phase 1-2 studies may be adequate. There we go. That's all we need to know. So the FDA no longer likes it. Overnight, that's what can happen. So these biotechs, therapeutic stocks can have bad news overnight. Their main drug is dead. It's either make it or break it on this one drug. That's how it goes. So QURE. Huge day here. Ran up really nicely, and then bad news. So back down to the 20s. Now it did come from the 14s, so it's still actually up from that level. But most people are buying after this big green day, chasing it up, and then they get wrecked on the dip if they didn't sell. So that's what makes a lot of these tough for swinging. Big caps are looking interesting. Apple looks like a potential trend break coming. So massive trend break on Apple incoming. We're about to see a pullback. Don't know how bad, but it's been on a really nice run lately. All the way from June, July area. So massive moves from Apple. 30% up since then. Most likely we're going to see a trend break right there. Boom. Pull back into the, I don't know, 240 area probably would be my guess, at least. We'll see how aggressive the pullback is. And it's going to depend on the market. I do think we've had a lot of money flowing into other stocks outside of the big names. So I think things like Ball are going to see some moves. I'm long Ball. I just bought it on Friday. So this is one of those stocks that's, it's probably maybe a boring stock, but it could put some good moves in, and it's been in this, what appears to be, accumulation pattern for quite a while. And if the market does heat up like I'm thinking, then we're just going to see some really big moves out of these stocks that nobody's looking at, like Ball. So really interesting there. All the stocks that have been down, they've been beaten down for quite a while now, are probably going to get some momentum. And that's the hope. Like Cracker Barrel. So Cracker Barrel, very beaten down chart. Pretty crazy pullback. We've been waiting for this trend break. It hasn't happened. That has been a crazy downtrend. Just straight down since August. And this has a lot of potential to bounce back. I'm expecting a move back towards the mid 40s, 50s area over the next several months. Still waiting on the trend break though for that one. Lulu, another one. Just insanely beaten down charts like this are probably going to get some momentum back eventually, hopefully soon. We are long Lulu. KVU, another one. This is more niche kind of play. You get the Trump dump into this Kimberly-Clark acquisition, which is valued at $21 a share. So really looking for that to at least push to 21. We have a nice long on this. So far, it's hanging out in my buy zone. So that's looking really good. It managed to hold a double bottom last week, so it's a good sign. We'll see if we get the follow through on it now. Nike's another one that's just prime for a move once the market decides it's time. I don't know if we can go lower than this, but you never know. We are waiting for this trend break as well. Almost have it. We almost have it. Might buy a little Nike. Hoping for a deeper pullback on Intel. I don't know if we're going to get it, but I'd love to see a pullback down into the 20s. PayPal has a pretty deep pullback here. And a really nice day on Friday. So hopefully this thing starts bouncing back for us. Really pulled back to this bottom trend line. That's quite a dip. And PayPal has got good earnings, you know, and the market doesn't like it yet. Several years of basing here, right around the 70s. So I don't really know how much lower that can go. Could it be still overvalued? I don't know. Hopefully this will start taking off. It's probably going through some accumulation right now, I'd imagine. Tends to be how it works. You get these choppy moves, shakes a lot of people out, but ultimately the goal is to hit something like BABA, which did the same exact kind of thing. A lot of basing, a lot of accumulation, choppy before the move happened. Of course, BABA had a higher low. So this is a pretty big move in October before this big rip happened. So that's a big shakeout. Gave back everything and then held up at the trend line. Bounced back up. Really choppy. Ripped again. So now what? It might just keep chopping its way higher. Pfizer. Just another one of these stocks. It looks like a potential bottom pattern right here. We'll see if it does it. We are long Pfizer as well. Again, Friday, nice day on Friday, but still just chopping around. We want to see it make its way back up eventually. Quantum totally got wrecked, as we were predicting. Was kind of hoping to see more of a bounce out of it, which it did a little bounce, but got totally wrecked back down to low 20s. All right, 1 minute to the bell. Let's see what we got. Actually, the bell is right now. Here we go. So ENLV, big resistance, major level right there, 210. See if it gets up there. All right, SGBX. Take a look at this one too. Pretty light volume on it. Of course, SSR is on. Started taking a little bit here. Hard to say if this is going to do what I want. Decent setup though. Pretty light volume. There we go, a little pop on it. SGBX. Really want to see that trend break. ENLV trying to squeeze. Here we go. It's trying to test the pre-market high, but can it do it? We'll see soon enough. SGBX. Nice. So 9:45, huh? We got news coming out. Coming up on it. Let's see. All right, SGBX making a new low there, so pretty light volume though. Hopefully that'll have some follow through on it. Needs to crack this trend line. Morning, Scotty. We just have SGBX taking a little short on this. Pretty light volume, but it's super backside. You know, it had a red day, sideways day on Friday, and I'm looking for another red day today. So it's like a third day surge. To the downside, of course. Fingers crossed. Going for 15 or 20% on it. ENLV. Classic. Short this one as well. Hopefully this has some nice follow through for us. That is it for today so far. INHD ripping now. What is this? Strategic cooperation with Megabyte Solutions, Web3 technology application, Blah, blah, blah. Web3. It's got all the keywords. Decentralized blockchain, Web3. And their last news was an offering. Nice. But man, look at that daily chart. This thing ran nicely back here in August. See, this is a great setup here. When you get the support break right there, crack support, massive red day right there. All right, SGBX, new lows, fresh lows. We like to see that. Let's see, maybe I should just put an order out just in case it drops quick. It's pretty illiquid. Let's see. All right, we'll see if it gets down to $3. Yeah, 320 would be great too. One of these mid caps is breaking out here. BBIO. I love this daily chart. Nice flag. Nice higher high breakout. I'll try a little bit. So I'm looking for, hopefully, a day 2, second green day. Maybe we get some follow through on this breakout. And I just want to see it push up towards 72 area, 72, 73 by the end of the day, pretty much. It's got some spread on it for sure. But yeah, we're going to do a little intraday move on it. Put an alert up here. Put the Batman alert on so we know we're winning. All right. This is a really nice looking daily chart. If this can just give some follow through. Tesla's holding up really nice. Nice trade, Scotty, on SNDK. Look at that. Beautiful. I need to be looking at that one closer. Everybody's trading that right now. SNDK. All right, ENLV trying to bounce a little bit. Never really know if these are gonna take off or just keep fading. We are getting some action though, so it's nice to see some stuff moving around. This one's gonna try to squeeze again. We'll see what it does. INHD still pushing. This one could run all day. I'm not gonna touch that one. AEHL, another similar kind of move. That's about it in small caps. I did go back in some UNH on Friday, so we're gonna probably build in some more on that. Risking kind of wide on it. Just averaging in. I'm kind of expecting it to pull back a little bit, chop around, eventually make its way back up towards 500. And it kind of followed the blueprint, but it didn't have the crazy blow off move that Boeing had. but I do expect it to consolidate, eventually push 500. So what was this pullback here? This is I have some interesting stats. What do we got here? It's about 70%. About 70% drop right there. So 70%. There is a statistic that says if a stock falls 80% from its highs, then it's a minimum of 10 years to get back to the all-time high. If it falls 50% off its high, it's a minimum of 2 years to get back to the high. So we're looking at least a couple of years here for this to get back up to the highs. And the blueprint kind of agrees, because we're saying by 2027, we'll be pretty much right back up to the highs. May or may not keep going from there, but it does track with that data. Really can't wait for offering season to kick on. Yeah, SPY is just, it's having crazy red days and crazy green days right now. Uh-oh, there goes ELEV, ENLV. Cutting that. Yeah, that's what I was worried about with that one. Free to borrow. Easy squeeze. Holding up past 10 o'clock. Possible fake out. I don't know. But I think I'm going to call it right there, guys. I just have SGBX on still. We're going to let that one play out. Stopped on ENLV. But good luck, everybody. We'll be back at it tomorrow.